Yo, what's good, everybody? Man, it's been a huge disappointment, man, because we thought that we was finna get this Jaime Munguia versus Charlo fight, all the hype, and we end up with Sulecki, Jermall Charlo versus Sulecki on June 18th. You know what I'm saying? And Jermall Charlo, he did an interview with DAZN, and he said that Canelo's not wrong for telling him that him, Andre, and Benavidez need to fight each other to earn the fight. So he's saying that he's open for a box off. You know what I'm saying? And that's good to hear. But the other two guys, they have fights booked right now. So that talk is pretty much irrelevant. And they say that PBC wants to throw Caleb Plant back into that mix as well. You know, maybe to even it out so it can be four guys instead of three. So it's just like not one fighter waiting on the other two. So throw Caleb Plant in there. I don't really know what the matchups would be, but Jamal told DAZN that, if he was to pick anybody to fight, he'd fight Benavidez. But his brother, he was sounding like Jamal could win that fight, but it seems like he look at Benavidez as too big for his brother. Talking about he's picking on smaller guys. He's a weight bully. He ain't gonna get no credit until cruiserweight or heavyweight. And I ain't gonna lie, if you look at Benavidez's body structure, you know what I'm saying? He looked like he could go up to cruiserweight. But he making the weight. He barely made weight. He was 169 at the last weigh-in, and his not non-title bout allowed him to be a pound over. You know what I'm saying? He's a fat boy. He is, because he's missed weight before, lost his belt like that. He lost his belt twice, but he never lost it in the ring. But Benavidez, he's young too, so he's gonna outgrow that division sooner or later. But PBC, they came out with a decent schedule. They came out with a decent schedule. It could be better. I think the only two fights that I kind of don't really like is the Charlo Sulecki and the Tim Zoo Gaucher fight. I mean, that could be competitive, but I don't really like that either. They got Tank and Rolly. They got Spence and Ugas. PBC trying to get their shit together for the year. But Jermall Charlo, it's got to be irking him. You know what I'm saying? He seemed like he was the front runner for Canelo. PBC offered Canelo like $110 million for a 2-fight deal for him and Benavidez, and he turned that down for the Bivol and Triple G fight. You know what I'm saying? And he had Jaime Munguia. They say Jaime signed his part of the deal. You know what I'm saying? But DAZN, even though they wasn't paying nobody salary, they was trying to be all greedy. You know, PBC was trying to offer them the TV rights for the two main areas that they popular in, Mexico and the UK. But they wanted more. They wanted some of that America money, the TV rights. So that fight fell apart, and it kind of seemed like DAZN kind of outpriced themselves. They really didn't want Munguia in there with Charlo, protecting their investment. But You know what I'm saying? It's like Munguia, I don't know what direction he finna go in now. You know, he just missed out on both of the opportunities. At least if he was finna miss this one, if he was finna fight Janabek, that'd be decent. That wouldn't be really a fight that we asking for, but at least he fighting somebody. You know, Janabek get a lot of hype, but I see Janabek as a basic fighter. You know, he he's a tough guy. He comes forward. He got a nice left hand. You know what I'm saying? But he don't really throw a lot of punches, not a lot of body work. And when he fought Endom, he had a little too much trouble with that movement from the older Endom. I think he was like 38 years old, and I don't think he ever was a champion or anything. But Janabek, he willing to fight everybody, and you know you gotta respect fighters like that. But I don't know. Is it possible that we could get a box off between Charlo and Benavidez and Andrade? I think that's a lot of cross promotion. You know what I'm saying? But I know for a fact that Demetrius Andrade, he's willing to fight anybody. Benavidez too. He called out the other two. You know, we just gotta see. We just gotta see, you know. Canelo trying to sit back with his feet up on the Euro tour, locked himself away for a whole nother year. A whole nother year, then maybe one of y'all might get the fight. That's the thing about it. But you know, we got a lot of good boxing coming up though these next couple months, especially April. April stacked. You know, I like that. But you know, we gotta. It's time for the best to fight the best. You know what I'm saying? We need unifications. We need all the undisputeds. We need the Haney Camboses. We need all that shit. Canelo Alvarez, he the undisputed champ at 168. You know what I'm saying? Is he gonna defend that or is he gonna drop that? Because if he locked himself away for a whole year, if he fight Triple G, triple that'll be defending undisputed. And I really believe John Ryder is that third fight because it can't be Makabu because that's too much movement and weight from 168 to 75 to 68 to 190. But Jermall Charlo, I think this might be his last fight at 160. I don't see what else is there for 160 after this Sulecki fight. You know, Sulecki, he a tough dude. You know, he's 30-2. His only two losses is to Daniel Jacobs and Demetrius Andrade. And he beat Gabe Rosado. You know what that means when you beat Gabe Rosado? You in the A class or the B plus class at least. So Jermall, he got a nice scrap coming up. But maybe I would have, but I ain't gonna lie. If it wasn't none of the huge fights, I would have at least wanted to see Carlos Adames, or I would have even took Daniel Jacobs coming off a loss before Sulecki, because I don't even think Daniel Jacobs lost. But Jermall Charlo, he 31, 32 years old. You know, it's time for that huge step up. And he's getting a little old. He's getting a little old to be still taking all these tune up type of fights. too old to be taking all these tune-up level type of fights. Because you know what? Because you don't get better fighting these type of fights. And sooner or later, you fighting these type of fights, one of these dudes gonna upset you. And that's how it always ends up. But, let's just see what the future holds for Jermall and, Benavidez and Andrade, assuming that all three of these dudes get past their fights.